Frosty the Snowman. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what I was doing. I'm here to do some crafts, not to sing silly songs. Silly me. Well, I am back. Yes, my name is Esme the Elf. If you remember me from before, we did some excellent pine cone creations. But now we are going to make some gnomes. Why gnomes, you ask? Well, these little gnome guys are very popular in Scandinavia. I mean, lots of old stories from that area of the world. And Scandinavia is countries like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and Finland, which is where Tiikat is from and absolutely loves. So we're going to bring a bit of Scandinavia to the North Pole and make some of these gnomes here. Now, as you can see with the two that I've already made here, they can come in a variety of different sizes and colours and decorations. So just see what kind of thing you like and what materials you have, and then just go with that. So what you're going to need to make these little gnomey friends is you're going to need some card, actually some scissors, some felt of 2 or more colours. So that's going to be for the base and that's going to be for the hat. And then we might want to get some more felt at some point to decorate, but let's leave that for now. So scissors, felt, some card preferably. You could potentially use paper if it was quite thick, but card would be best. And some wool. This is going to be used to make the lovely beard. And something to make a nose. Now, as you can see on one of these, I've used a little pink pom-pom. And on one of these, I've used a wooden bead. And I'm going to use another wooden bead because I think it looks absolutely excellent. But if you don't have one of those, you can use a pom-pom or just anything spherical that you think, yeah, that could be a nose. You can stick that on and use that as a nose. Fabulous. So, first and foremost, we need to make the base. So let's pop this all to one side. Just keep your card and your scissors. Now, this card is very rolled up, which doesn't make it 100% easy. But what you need to do is you need to, might be useful to have a pen as well. I've got a pen. So we're going to make a half circle shape, and then we're going to cut it out. So like this. Now, however big or small you make this is going to determine the size of your gnome. So you could always make it nice and big and roll it up and see what it looks like, and if you don't like it, you can cut it down before you stick it. So cut this out here. Lovely. Put the excess to one side. We've got a nice half circle shape there. Can't think of my words today. So we're just going to fold one side under there and round like this, and then roll it up. Now, that's going to be quite big. So you can see it's about the same size as that guy. So I might make it a little bit smaller. You can keep it that size if you want. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And depending how you roll this, you can try and do it nice, and you can do it thinner like that. I think I quite like that. But you can just play around and make it a shape that you like. So I'm going to have it like that. So now that we practiced that, let's fold that back out. Before we stick it into place, we're going to put some felt onto it, which is going to be the, as you can see with this guy here, he's got a little jacket on there, nice warm woolen jacket made of felt. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick that on and we'll cut that out. So I'm going to use a glue gun You can use whatever you have at home. Just try it out. Felt can be a little bit difficult sometimes. Sometimes things don't want to stick to it as well. I know that glue gun glue works, but I'm sure if you try some PVA, that should work as well. Just make sure you leave it enough time to dry. If you are using a glue gun, make sure to be very, very careful because the glue can get very hot. I'm just gonna spread that on there nice and flat. It's lovely and warm. It's nice. And then I'm going to cut it out. Now, I make it, because I've made a couple of these before, it's quite nice to do lots of different colours. I mean, you could do them all in the same colours and it will kind of look like they're all wearing the same uniform, or maybe they're brothers or in the same family. But I like to keep things as colourful as possible, so I just have a look and see, oh, what colour beard has that one got? Let's try something else. So this one's going to have a lovely brown coat. Now let's just roll that up again. Make sure that we know how it's going to go. Folding it. Very nice. And then again, we're going to glue it. So just get that edge there. Put a decent amount on there. Careful, always being very careful with the glue gun and folding it around like that. Don't worry if you can see a bit of card. We're going to cover up most of this anyway, and you can always put extra felt on it at the end if there's any bits that you don't like. So just check that that stands up by itself. Mine's leaning because we want to have the crease at the back, and because the back is slightly lower there, it's leaning a bit forward. So I'm going to cut away a little bit at the back just so that we can see the gnome's face really well. Yeah, nice. Great. Now, the next thing to do is to make the hat. So this time you don't need to use any card. Just get the felt that you're going to use. I think that pink looks really nice in that brown. So, and then you're going to cut a corner off with a rounded edge like this. And we're going to make another cone. You want to make sure that it's going to sit, it's going to fit on top. And have a little check that it's okay. That's fine. So just put a bit of glue down this line here and then we're going to attach it. Whoop! It can be a bit fiddly, this. Don't worry if you need to have a few goes, I certainly did. He's got a little hole in the top of his hat. That won't do. Let's fill that in. Great. Fantastic. And just firmly plant that down there. Make sure it's nice and stuck. I'm going to put a bit more glue at the bottom there. I want a hat like this. Very funky. Let's just check that's how we like it. Oh, lovely. Looking really nice. So we're going to come back to the hat and decorate it a bit more later. So the next thing to do, this bit is quite fun. I really enjoyed doing this bit. We're going to make the scruffy beard. Now you can obviously have the beard as long as you like. I think more is more. So I've got one that I made earlier, but I'm going to show you how to do it. This does take a little bit of time. So maybe put on some lovely Christmas music, get some roast potatoes, and just hang out and make this beard. So you're going to need a piece of string. Probably doesn't need to be quite as long as that, but just to show off that it's quite a long bit of string. We've got that there. And then we're going to make the strands that come off. So we've got this white wool in a ball here, and we're just going to wrap it around our hand, and we're going to do this about 20 times. 7, 8. It's good practice of our numeracy or maths. Round and round and round, rocking around the Christmas tree. So once you've done that about 20 times, you then cut off this end here. And very careful not to touch our fingers or hands, we're going to cut there. And then you'll have lots of strands like this. Take off any of the little mini ones. Now that you've got lots of strands, I'm going to pick 2 at a time, just because it makes it a bit quicker and makes the beard look nice and thick. And what you want to do is you want to make a loop with it. Don't tie it or anything, you just make a loop like that. Put the loop underneath this piece of string, like that, so that one's sitting across. And then fold the bottom of the loop through, like that, and then pull it. And you've got some strands coming down like that. I'll show you how to do that again, because it is a bit tricky. So, you've got your 2 bits of string, and then bring the ends together, like that, to make a loop. Put it underneath your long bit of string, and put it inside through there, and then just pull it through. And you can move it so that they're nice and close together. You've got to do this over and over and over again, and then you'll have a beautiful, beautiful, long, luscious, thick beard. And you can do this in any colour you want. So currently we're doing a lovely white Dumbledore kind of beard, but you could also have a brown beard, that's sort of a burgundy colour, or you could have a grey glittery beard. Whatever colour beard, you could go absolutely wild. You could have a green beard, anything you like. I'm sure that these gnomes have access to hair dye, so they can do whatever they want to. So I've done some examples there. Just to speed things up a little bit, I've got one I made earlier, but you just keep going. Probably you want to finish all these 20, have a look and see, does that look like enough? Would that beard be worthy of this gnome? And then decide and carry on. But here's one I made earlier as an example that you can compare yours to. You see this? Lovely, luscious beard. Wonderful. So once you've got it to this level, you're going to get the ends. Yes, and you're going to tie those together. So go round the back and through and pull it so that you've got a nice circle there, and that's where the nose is going to go. Just do a double knot. Wonderful. Great. Now we're going to cut this so that it's more of, I'm not going to have these strangly bits coming off. But first of all, we need a little bit of felt that matches the colour there. So get your, mine is brown, but whatever colour you used for the background. And just cut a little piece off, like so. And you're going to stick this onto that. So I'm using my glue gun again to get all those bits off so they don't get stuck into the beard. It never looks good when gnomes have lots of things stuck in their beard, does it? So I'm going to put a little circle there and then stick that right on there. Lovely. Just leave that to dry. Whilst that's drying, I'm going to get out what I'm going to use for the nose. Now, as I said, you can use a pom-pom, you can use a bead, you can use anything you like. I think I'm going to go for the largest size of wooden bead for this, because this guy's got an absolutely massive nose. Very good at sniffing out roast potatoes and turkey and all of the Christmas chocolates. So we're going to have a big nose on this one. I've got this wooden spherical one, and we're just going to plonk some glue in here. There's some holes on the side here. I would just say keep them on the side if you have a bead with some holes either side. Keep them on the side because you don't want a hole at the top because it'll be really visible. So, make sure it doesn't stick to your tablecloth there. So now that we've got that, that's great. We're just going to leave that to one side to dry. And we're going to go back to our base and our hat. So we've got that ready. So I would just like, I think that this hat is lovely, but I think that it needs a little bit more decoration. Now, as you've seen, you can do whatever you want here. On this one, I've done a kind of holly. We've done some holly leaves and a little lovely shiny bead on there and some glitter on the top and a ribbon round as a band. On this one here, we've got a pipe cleaner and a pom-pom at the top. So just really have an experimentation and see what you would like to do. I think I'm gonna get my pom-poms out and do a nice little ring of pom-poms around the bottom there. I think that'll look really cute and it'll be different to the others as well. But yeah, you can make stuff, little flowers or holly or presents out of felt maybe and stick it on. You can put beads on, anything that you like really. So I'm just sticking on these pom-poms. Lovely. This is a very, very brightly coloured gnome. There we go, almost done. This is a really cool hat. I really want one. So yeah, whenever you're using glue gun, just be very careful. I know I've said it many times, but it's not nice when you burn yourself on one of those. It's not fun. They are very quick to use, but they can be a little bit messy as well. So wonderful. So now we've got a lovely pom-pommy hem there on the bottom of our hat. And it's just time to assemble it now. So we know that that goes on like that. Just deciding before I glue exactly where. I think that sits really nicely there. Now, traditionally, these gnomes don't have eyes. And I've shown you the difference on these two here. This one on the right, the big one, doesn't have some eyes, and this one does. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Either way, you're not going to see a lot of them. But just to show you how to do it, an example, I'm going to put some on now. But they look really cool without eyes as well. It's very mysterious. So we've got our lovely little base there that we put on. And it just makes it so much easier when gluing it on. So you don't have to have all those strangly bits of wool. So make sure the folded edge is at the back and then glue that and just firmly plonk it on there. Lovely. Hold it there. Next up, we're going to do our eyes. Small amount of glue. Don't need to go too crazy on the glue. And I'm just placing it just so that it's slightly underneath the beard. So it's just the impression of some eyes. He's not going to be seeing much through that beard and that hat, but it's the idea that he's got some eyes. So if you don't have googly eyes, you could make them out of, white card and a black pen. So as you can see there, we've got some eyes on there, but his head's looking a little bit bare and cold. So let's get this hat on there. You can just plonk it on. That's quite low down. It does mean that you could maybe swap the hats around and see what looks good. But I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue just so that it doesn't fall off, we don't lose it. But just at the back there, don't need a lot. Great. Yeah, perfect. And just as a final touch, to finish this gnome off, I'm going to give him a little bit of a beard trim. He probably won't like this because he's been growing this for a very long time, as we can see. But I think that it's high time. There we go. Put those to one side. And there we have it. A lovely little Scandinavian gnome. So yeah, try one at home. We'd love to see them. And yeah, you can put them all over your house. And I'm sure that whoever you live with will be happy to have lots of new friends everywhere. So I'll see you next time.